What's up, y'all? Merry Christmas. My name is Jason Kirk, here to pick some football games for Odds Checker. 2 winning weeks in a row on the college football front, and now we are amidst bowl season. Very strange bowl season. Bowl games are always pretty difficult to pick. Coaching changes, players opting out, motivation levels are always all over the place, and this year that's obviously multiplied for about 1,000 reasons, but sure, let's give it a shot. Let's start it off with Tulsa -1.5 against Mississippi State in the Armed Forces Bowl. A few trends here. One being Tulsa is 7-1 against the spread this year. Miss State is only 4-6. Tulsa is just a better team. The record suggests it, and the power ratings typically confirm it. Looking at how this game might play out, Mike Leach's Mississippi State is likely to pass the ball like crazy. That's what they do. They are a Mike Leach team. And they're not really all that good at passing. That's the thing. And Tulsa has one of the Group of Five's best pass defenses. Remember, they started the year holding Oklahoma State to just 16 points. They're one of the very, very few non-power teams that had any chance to prove themselves against P5, and they did pretty well, at least on defense. They're strong on third down. They don't give up a whole lot of big plays, and they can get some pressure without blitzing much, according to the numbers, which that is the simplest way to stop a Leach offense. If Tulsa's defense can get pressures, then Tulsa wins. But there might not be a whole lot of scoring. Next up, Cincinnati +7 against Georgia in the Peach Bowl. Obviously, there are big feelings, big narratives here, but looking at the game itself, really like Cincinnati's defense. As far as we know, they're really good. The other challenge this year is that we had so few non-conference games. It's really difficult to judge the strength of teams based only on their schedules, which were so insular and tautological. Just groups of 8 teams playing each other all around the country doesn't really tell us a whole lot. So bowl season is just going to be a lot of surprise information. But as far as we know, Cincy defense is solid. The current story on Georgia is that JT Daniels is the quarterback they've been waiting for this whole time. He put up nice numbers in his 3 games. But those 3 games were Mississippi State, South Carolina, and Mizzou. If he plays really well against the solid Cincy defense, then okay. Point taken. To some degree, also, bowls are about who cares more. If the end of the year, NFL futures, graduation, all that stuff coming up, that can affect a lot of teams. Well, Cincinnati believes they should have been in the playoff, and this is the only chance they're going to get to make an argument otherwise. If to be clear, if Georgia takes Cincinnati lightly, that is on Georgia. The victory is Cincinnati's. No excuses. No reason to discount a victory by Cincinnati if it happens. That is just a reason to expect Cincy to come out and play hard. Do everything to keep it close and possibly get the win. Ohio State +7.5 against Clemson in the playoff. It's a strange line. It's a difficult line to explain. Clemson's extremely good, but most power ratings have it a good bit smaller, more like 1 or 2 points. Have to assume Ohio State's getting a lot of guys back after that bad game against Northwestern. Justin Fields was not great in that game, and now the job's just as hard. Ohio State, got to cruise into the playoff with only 6 games, and at this point, you kind of have to wonder if that lack of live reps might be hurting them a bit. That sounds like making the case for a Clemson win, and I think that's still the likely choice. If this line was something more like 3, 4, I'd probably take Clemson. But getting Ohio State on the friendly side of a touchdown against pretty much anybody is, I'm just going to take that. Sure, it's Ohio State with more than a touchdown. That's not going to happen very often. Next up, North Carolina +7 against Texas A&M in the Orange Bowl. Should be a fun one. Each team has only had one truly bad game all year, and both of those were against playoff teams. As far as we know, UNC's offense is really good, really balanced, can run, can pass. A&M's defense is good. Might have a few weaknesses in the red zone, big passing plays, but should just be a great game. Very competitive. A&M again might have a motivation thing like Cincinnati, but I think UNC has enough firepower to keep it close. And finally, I don't intend to do exactly 5 picks every week. That's just the way it's worked out. Army +9 against West Virginia in the hastily reassembled Liberty Bowl. West Virginia has a pretty good run defense, and it's been a while since they faced a team quite like Army, though. Does anybody really want to work all that hard on like 8 days notice over the holidays to put up with the flex bone for 3 hours? I mean, this is just unfamiliar. Every team runs some option concepts. Oklahoma State runs the ball a lot, so it's not like this is totally foreign to the Big 12, but still, a flex bone team is just a different thing. And on that note, I pretty much always just bet the academies whenever they're getting a lot of points. They tend to just break games and break math. Several power ratings do like Army against the spread, even without that factor, though. So our Army on short notice, that's a horrible time. You don't want to ever do that. And West Virginia, get out of there with a touchdown margin. Everyone goes home happy. And that is it. Those are my 5 picks this time around.